With all the acquisitions that Microsoft have been making to bolster Xbox game studios, can Game Pass ever reach the levels of Netflix? Well, based on earnings calls, interviews, and historical data, it looks like Xbox won't stop until they have 200 million subscribers, and let me tell you why. Back in September of 2020, Microsoft dropped a $7.5 billion bombshell on the gaming landscape with the acquisition of ZeniMax Media, which included Bethesda among many other great gaming studios like id, Arcane, Machine Games, and Tango Gameworks. And all of these newly acquired studios bring Microsoft's first-party studios to 23, almost doubling their internal studios and their ability to produce potential Microsoft exclusives. What exactly will happen with exclusivity is what most people are wondering. In comparison, Sony has 13 first-party studios, and although there is more of an established track record with studios like Sony Santa Monica, Guerrilla, Insomniac, and Naughty Dog, there is something to be said about 23 studios with the budget and long-term expertise in the tech field with Microsoft. And if the argument for PlayStation has always been that they have the exclusives, then this move easily puts Microsoft on the same playing field, if not ahead. What Microsoft does with these studios and franchises, not only from the recent ZeniMax acquisition, but from before, will be interesting to watch moving forward. How much can be gained from viewing how Microsoft treated Mojang Studios when it acquired them back in 2014 for $2.5 billion? Microsoft could have easily turned Minecraft and any future releases from the studio into exclusives, but the company understood just how much money it would be leaving on the table. And they have to be looking at that data since 2014 to see how profitable Minecraft has been on all other platforms to give them an idea of how to proceed with this. Obviously, Microsoft's play here is to grow Game Pass to the size where it becomes too big to fail, and they are definitely on their way. With over hundreds of games already and the recent addition of EA, as well as the new additions from Bethesda Studios, Game Pass will soon be in the same category as Netflix, where even though you might not find value from it every month, you won't cancel it and you're still going to find something to play. At the most recent Microsoft earnings call near the end of January, it was revealed that Game Pass currently has over 18 million subscribers, which is up from 15 million from their September report, which is up from 10 million from its April report. Game Pass launched in 2017, and this shows great growth for the service. Game Pass feels like a domino effect. With the more users, the more Xbox is going to have the ability to bolster the offerings on the service, and this cycle will continually repeat itself. As someone who follows publicly traded gaming companies and reads earnings reports to see how the company and specifically hardware and software are performing, it's nice that ZeniMax is now part of Microsoft, who is a publicly traded company, and this will mean that we will now have more data regarding the studios that are under the ZeniMax umbrella, well, technically the Microsoft umbrella now, albeit Microsoft has been pretty vague on their specific data since the early days of the Xbox One generation, when sharing specific data on a losing console became detrimental to the company. Instead, Microsoft now focuses on a more macro-level detail, including Game Pass subscriptions. On the Xbox Wire, Phil Spencer, head of Xbox and the man who has seemingly been behind the turnaround since taking over, had some things to say on the matter of the ZeniMax deal finalizing. A few of the statements that Phil said that are noteworthy of mentioning include, with the addition of Bethesda creative teams, gamers should now know that Xbox consoles, PC, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games, including some new titles in the future that will be exclusive to Xbox and PC players. It seems that there are just some titles that are too big to be Xbox exclusive from this list. The way I see the deal going, based on what Phil Spencer said in the Xbox Wire post, plus how he was talking at the Xbox Bethesda roundtable that happened this week, is that these games will be Xbox exclusive, and titles that release on other platforms will be the exception and not the rule. With over 115 million PS4s sold and PS5 off to a faster start, I don't think it would make sense to leave that money on the table, but then again, we don't understand what Microsoft is willing to pay to make Game Pass as big as they want it to be. Before moving ahead, you might be thinking that Netflix is too big and that there is no way that Xbox Game Pass can ever get that large. Remember that just 20 years ago, Netflix had only 400,000 subscribers, and that was back when it was mail only. Fast forward to when the service was almost exclusively streaming, and that was in 2010, and guess how many subscribers Netflix had? 18 million. At their last earnings report, Netflix announced that they have more than 203 million users. In just one generation with the right moves, Microsoft can turn Xbox Game Pass into a service of monolithic proportions. In 2020, Netflix generated $24.99 billion in sales, which could certainly be a glimpse into what Microsoft is willing to do to get there. Even just last summer, head of Xbox marketing Aaron Greenberg said in an interview with What's Good Games that Xbox Game Pass is not a big profit play, but ultimately will pay dividends down the road if everything goes to plan. And so far, the plan looks like it's moving right along. If you extrapolate the business model roughly from Netflix to Game Pass and you assume that they can get to 200 million users in about 10 years based on Xbox, PC, and xCloud, then rough calculations of monthly fees plus small increases similar to how Netflix has done, and in 10 years the price of Game Pass could be around $20 a month. With 200 million subs at $20 a month, that works out to around $50 billion of revenue annually, just from Game Pass. And during the last quarter of financials that Microsoft reported, the company brought in $48 billion of revenue. And when you see that Game Pass has the potential to account for 20 to 25% of Microsoft's total annual revenue, I would say that nothing is off limits in terms of what it will take to make Game Pass succeed. If you enjoyed the video, then please be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. Also, let me know in the comments below if you think Game Pass will ever hit 200 million subscribers.